This is episode number 210 of the Homeowner Show. Whether you're DIY or looking to hire, we're here to help you find the best information and options for you and your home. My name is Kevin Hackett, and here with me is Craig Williams.
Hello, and welcome to the Homeowner Show. We're so glad you could join us for another episode live in the Homeowner Show studios. We did it again. Who's... Oh, wait. Where is it?
Everybody is echoing. Everybody.
There it is. We found the gremlin. Everything is well.
It is. Oh, everybody is.
The gremlin distracted me.
We are off the rails already.
Why not? It's just going to be that kind of a show.
Of course it is.
Yeah.
Aren't they all?
Yeah, you get what you pay for, people.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is free.
I still hear it.
Why do you hear it?
It's in my ears. I don't know. Oh, it's gone now. We're good. Hello, everyone. Do you hear it?
I hear it. Why is it in our ears?
I still hear it echo.
That's why.
Oh, what were you doing?
It was the Bluetooth.
Dad, you know what?
Yours is off?
I was talking about the Bluetooth to my dad earlier. Both of us had Bluetooth issues. This is the day of Bluetooth crap.
Well, let's just send it where it belongs.
Yes, I agree.
So this episode is off to a great start.
Oh, man.
It's one for the books. Why not?
Why not? Why not? Exactly.
So should I just walk out and then come back in?
Maybe I
need to get the marker boards out for the...
Yeah, I think... Well, yeah, let's start over.
Send out a sign of distress to the people.
Absolutely.
Help.
That would be a good idea. Well, to make
At least I hit record.
Oh, you did?
So we didn't miss any of this gloriousness.
Well, it's better than you did the last 3 episodes.
That's right.
Oh, man. I will tell you how it's going to get worse, though.
Okay.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Well, starting tomorrow, I'm going to have naked face, Kevin.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
So,
it's football season.
It's football season. The first game of the season is tomorrow. So
okay, so
it's coming.
So you're going to have like a reverse skunk stripe on your face.
Yeah, it's going to be really awful, y'all.
I am so looking forward to it.
I will tell you, like, so I did have it like down to here, and then when I left to go to Honduras, I was like, I don't want to deal with this in Honduras, and so I cut it back
because it's red and they wouldn't like you.
No, because I just didn't want to.
Okay.
So more than anything, it was the mustache because the mustache was like,
yeah, it was
handled.
It was out there, and so I just didn't want to deal with like humidity and anyway, whatever. So I brought it down to this, and it's going away.
It was a gradual reduction.
It was.
Yeah.
Well, it was a pretty steep reduction, but it's going to be completely bald. Which I will tell you is my wife's least favorite Kevin. Because now it is really bad because it's completely bald at that point.
Yeah.
I have no hair on my head.
So maybe you need like a billiard table in the house to take the distraction away from you.
I would love one. I'll just have to come to your house though.
That's right.
Yeah. Because we don't have a place for a billiard table. So anyway.
We actually haven't used it all that much since we moved it in here.
I haven't.
So we
Put it in the party barn.
Well, it's right here. It's just.
Yeah, it is what it is.
We're too busy making podcasts to play pool.
That's right. We have a job to do, y'all.
That's right.
We're professionals. So if you didn't notice.
Real quick, I want to let everybody know we're going to be reviewing this bad boy pretty soon.
Yeah.
This Google Nest thermostat. I'm pretty pumped about it. I'm going to see how it functions, and we're going to do a review. If you guys have already used this, because I know it's been out for a while.
It has. And one of the great things about it is it's cheap.
It's cheap.
Yeah.
And I think our guest tonight, you said you had one, right?
Yes, I have one.
Okay, so you might be able to give us some insight. No spoilers, though.
I won't.
Okay. So we actually have... so it's always weird. I don't want to call you my old friend because that sounds like I'm calling you old. You're not old.
She's older than you.
So we've been friends for a long time.
Long time.
Isn't that weird? Like, this is my old friend.
Nah.
But like, is it?
Okay.
But in all fairness, you haven't seen her in half your life at this point.
More than half.
So more than half for you, and half your life for Craig.
That's right.
Sorry.
So
He's so much younger.
This is my friend Farah, and I was told that I had to say your last name with an Inspector Clouseau accent.
Yes.
We'll see.
Yes.
We'll see. Here we
Go
go.
for it.
Farah Fornier.
But
Wow.
That's totally wrong. Fournier.
Yeah, beautiful.
Fournier.
There we go.
Yeah.
wow.
Are you familiar with Clouseau?
Yes.
Yes, really?
No.
Is a
No.
hamburger.
No. I'm so.
The Pink Panther movies?
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Oh,
sure.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, from a long time ago.
A long time ago.
Yeah.
Okay.
But he had like a ridiculous accent. You
Ridiculous.
got to adjust that right there.
Okay, thank
It
you.
popped up
Thank
on
you.
the.
See, I didn't want the headphone hair.
Oh well. You look perfect.
There you go.
You look
got it now.
absolutely perfect.
Thank
So,
you.
yes.
Perfect.
You do.
Okay.
Now you got it.
Yeah.
Back
Exactly.
So Farah Fornier designs. That's what we're here to talk about tonight.
Farah Fornier design.
Yeah.
Yes.
And are you? Do you have any questions, Kev?
Well, yeah, I do. I mean,
Well, then hold them.
go ahead, Craig.
So I wanted to give a little backstory because like we actually reconnected through a mutual friend
Yeah.
who let me know that like this was something that you were getting going.
Yes.
And you obviously have like incredible style.
Thank
and so
you.
you want to share this gift with the world,
I do.
right? And so one of the things that's stuck out to me about what you're doing is helping people actually like pick colors,
Yes.
which I think is something that a lot of people really struggle with.
They do.
I mean,
the struggle's real.
Because like you can pick out colors for like your clothes, but if you don't like them, most clothes, you can throw them away. But like if you pick out colors for your house, you're stuck with them for a while.
Yeah, and it's an investment.
And it's an expensive investment.
Paint is not cheap, y'all. And because not only that, you got the paint brushes, the rollers,
The time.
the time. It's a lot of work.
It is. But in terms of like, renovating your house and DIY, it is one of the easiest
Oh, for sure.
and most economical
Yeah.
to turn things around.
Yeah, no, it absolutely is.
Yeah, and and if you don't like it, you can just cover it back up. But like,
You can.
It's one of those
It's
things-
frustrating if you don't get the right color. It's just frustrating.
yeah, and like, but like, even if you put it on the wall and you're like, I don't like it, but like, you still want to like sit with it for a while and be like, do I not like it? Do I like it? It's
Because then it changes too. Like the color changes over the day, the course of
Yes.
the day.
And the amount of splatter your kids put on it.
There you go.
There you go. Now you got polka dot walls.
what are your kids doing inside?
Dude, look, I will literally tell you that we bought a table that is in our breakfast nook in our new house that is literally just so the kids can do their art on it.
Right.
And we don't have to unart it.
I like
art,
that.
Yeah.
Art the table.
Yes, it is just art filled.
Okay.
Every
So-
kid needs a table like that. My kids had a table like
Yeah,
that.
it's
My
in our
dad
breakfast.
built it.
I have a hard time with it because it should not be that way.
We have that at my house too. It's called outside.
That's also a good way.
It works.
So walk me through this process. How do you even how do you start helping people pick out a color?
Well, I have a
You want to go back further than
You want
that?
to go back to the
I want to
beginning.
go back further. Like, how did you get into this? Like, where did you learn the skill of? And it's probably not learned; it's probably inherent. But like, how
both. I think it's
how
both.
did you?
She's probably not colorblind.
Yeah,
No.
probably not. How did you learn? Where did you start?
Okay.
Where did we begin?
So the journey began.
Yes.
Once upon a time.
Once upon a time, we moved many, many times with my husband's job.
Okay.
So Baton Rouge, Washington, D.C., Houston, Chicago, Houston.
Wow.
So in all of those moves, I have one trip to go up to the place and find our home.
Right.
Our forever home.
Yeah.
So that's not a lot of time. It's
Yeah.
2, max 3 days. You know how it is. It's hard to find a house as is and in
Yeah.
a limited amount of time, and everybody has their own budgets. So I always got a house that had good bones, that we knew had a lot of potential, that we just felt it, we loved it. But of course, they were never perfect.
No.
And with 3 kids, full home renovations take, a lot of time, a lot of money. So I just started seeing what we could do just by painting. Because it is relatively simple. Anybody can do it. And so that's how we started. And for me, it's so much fun seeing how a space can change just by painting it.
Yeah.
It's fun. And I like to see how it's just finished with the paint. And sometimes I think, hey, we're going to change the backsplash or we're going to change the granite. And most of the time we don't even have to change that because it's just worked. So it stemmed from there. And I got a lot of experience with that. And then I saw that my friends started asking me for help. And it just kind of grew. Yeah. And then with all those home renovations that we were doing, I would read a lot of paint color blog posts. And there are paint color specialists out there. And I just found it fascinating. I loved it. And I used to do graphic designing. Okay. So I always loved the color aspect. And I saw that not everybody enjoys paint colors. And I do.
Well, and I'll tell you, like, for me, it's not that I don't like the paint colors. It's that I walk in and I look at the wall.
It's overwhelming.
Paint colors, and I'm like, they're all the same. Oh. Like, they're all the same. Like, that color and that color that's next to it are the same. And the problem is, then you get it to your house and it's not nearly the same.
They're not.
And so it's like, I don't even know what just happened, but I feel like I got to go back to Sherwin-Williams or wherever it is that I'm going.
Well, I know what happened.
Okay.
It's most of the time it's the undertones. That's what happened.
Yeah, and because it's like the same on the same thing. There's like 5 different shades, and I'm like, is that not the same? No, it's not. It's crazy.
But the problem is the lighting at Sherwin-Williams is completely different than the lighting in your house.
Yeah.
So even within your own home, it depends on what room you're talking about. It depends on what direction that room faces at what time of day. It just makes all the difference. So when you know all of that, it makes it a lot easier.
I think it's even harder whenever you're talking about, we live in the age of LED.
Yes.
And LED has like 5 different colors it can be. You know, you've got your daylight, your bright white, your soft white, your warm white, your whatever, blue light, I don't know. And all of a sudden, and a lot of people have, get me started, a lot of people have different bulbs in the same room that are different colors. And it's you've got to fix that.
I don't like that. That's a big pet peeve. And I'm so concerned with light that every time we move into a home, one of the first things I do is change all the light bulbs in the house.
Yeah.
My husband does not like it, but he's the one up there.
He's doing it.
That's what he says. Yeah, but he's the one that's doing it and changing all of them because it makes all the difference.
Sure.
Like fluorescent bulbs, can't stand them. And certain...
I hate fluorescent light.
Me too.
It's terrible.
It
doesn't make anybody happy.
Makes me feel like I'm at a hospital.
Yeah, but there are different rooms, different tasks that should have different lighting.
Yeah, I think like the bathroom is a prime example. Like I prefer to have a much brighter light in the bathroom than I have in the dining room, for example.
Right, like in the dining room and in your bedroom, you're going to want a warm light.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. Lighting and paint colors are so intertwined together.
So, but just a minute ago, you used a word that I don't really know what it means. Undertones.
Oh, yeah.
What is that?
Undertones. So
That's how my wife talks to me.
Oh, yeah.
In undertones.
These are different undertones.
Okay.
These are different.
These are happy things.
Okay.
These are happy, complicated things.
She doesn't watch this, so I can say that. She's never watched an episode. Okay, go ahead.
She's going to watch this one because it's about paint colors.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I asked her once, and she spoke in undertones.
I know. It's true.
But no, so like take white, for instance. Unless it's pure white, it's going to have some undertones, some other colors in it.
Okay.
So the best way to choose a color and to see what undertones a color has is to compare it with another color. So if you have a couple whites and if you see them by itself, it might look just like white. But if you put it next to another one, one can start looking more yellow because it has yellow undertones in it. This other one could look colder, cooler. That's because it has blue undertones in it. Some even have green or pink. Oof, people hate when there's a pink undertone that pops up. And it happens really often.
White has there's a lot of whites that have pink undertones, don't they?
There are. So I personally like to stay away from whites that have pink undertones, but sometimes they are necessary. They are, because...
The pink ones or the...
Sometimes the whites or the neutrals with some pink undertones are necessary, because we're trying to do away with the late 90s Tuscan design. And most of those, you can't just pair them with a white that has a yellow undertone or a blue undertone. And sometimes the pink, it's not going to read as pink when you have it on your wall, but it's just going to go better with your fixtures.
Is that why some people don't like a room? Is it like So almost like a subconscious clashing of undertones that they're seeing. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That's the biggest problem. Is people sometimes try to make colors work because they like them and they see them in magazines. But if you're not able to change absolutely everything, it's not going to work and it's going to clash. So you have to work with the stuff that you currently have that you can't change at that moment.
Yeah, we had that issue. So we just got through painting. Our friend Aaron painted from the show. He painted our kitchen for us. We had this birch color kitchen cabinets, and they were glossy, glossy birch. It was fine. And so we decided to change it. And what we did was my wife wanted color, but I warned her that an entire kitchen of color would be probably too much. And so what we did was we did our island in green.
Yes.
But the green that everybody was going with didn't work in that room. Like whatever that green is, you know what green I'm talking about.
Obviously, the green.
Everybody wants that green in their kitchen or whatever. But then we went with white for the cabinets, but you can't do white, right? It's too much. So we did Dover white, which is just it's got undertones of something else.
Yeah,
so
it has creamy undertones in it.
It's beautiful.
It's a beautiful
and
white.
they match up really, really, really well.
Yeah.
But there's so many whites.
There are so many whites, and I love whites. Those excite me. All the colors get me, but I love whites.
Yeah.
So it's
and
fun
I think
to work
the other
with.
thing, a lot of people are going with grays for these earthy tones, right? Grays and light browns and those types of things in rooms. And is that like still happening?
Yes. So after the whole Tuscan era, which was a lot of beiges and browns and golds. Then we moved into whites, and then we went gray, hardcore gray.
Yeah.
Grays are still in. I will always love grays, but they're more warm-toned gray. And if you think about it, like I always tell people, trends come and go.
Yeah.
Right? And it really doesn't matter what the trends are. I talk about them because we see them in magazines and people ask, but really the most important thing is, what do you like? Yeah. What do you like in your home?
Yeah, we were actually talking about that when we did our kitchen, because people were like, well, the green's kind of trendy. And I said, yeah, but I think I'll like that forever. And I was like, if it's trendy, then the 60s are now in the 2020s.
Right.
But like, I'm just like, but I like it, and I think we'll like it forever.
And
you know
that's
what I mean?
wonderful. And that's the most important thing. Like when I tell people about picking paint colors, is you have to love it. It doesn't matter what the trend is. And I will say that there are classic colors that have been around for thousands of years. So for instance, like my favorite color palette is the one from south of France. And
what is it?
So like Provence, south of France colors have a lot of green.
Okay.
Like olive muted green.
Herb de Provence, man.
Yeah. Herb de Provence.
There you go.
Yeah. Or they have like but the colors are very muted, very neutral, and they're timeless. They're never going to go out of style, and they're very connected to nature. So I think greens, we see them everywhere. It's never going to go out of style.
Right.
Now, however, if you're going to choose a green that is really bold, really bright, like really avocado, lime, then, you are going to run the risk that you're going to get tired of it. But if you tend to choose colors that are so close to nature, it's never going to go out of style.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, that's my take on it. I'm glad you chose green. I love green. That's my favorite color.
Yeah, and
green and white.
We had another issue, and that was, and my wife really hated it. I like it, but our countertops are really nice granite, and they're a brown color, and so they're not the black, they're not a white, they're brown.
Do you know what it's called?
Brown.
So specific.
But I don't know. I can show you.
Septic system. That's what it's called.
Septic brown. You're going to get me in trouble, Greg, because I was about to say something else, and I'm not going to. I filtered. For the record, I filtered just now.
I'm here for
I
you.
think I know what it was.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful brown.
You probably didn't, actually. But it doesn't matter.
You're a better person than that.
Yeah, that's right. But it was challenging because she was like, I don't want these countertops. And I was like, we're not changing the countertops. First of all, they're very nice, and there is a lot of it. We're not changing that. And so I said, we need something that will complement. And honestly, the white and the green, they work great with brown.
There you go. And
So-
but here's the thing: you didn't just choose white; you chose
A
Dover,
creamy, yeah.
Dover white.
You know
which
that
is,
color.
I do know that color. That's a fantastic color, and it has so much cream in it.
Yeah.
So that is going to go with your beautiful brown
Does.
granite countertops.
It does.
So we haven't changed the countertops in any of our kitchens that we moved to, and so like the one in Chicago, I wanted to do gray, but I ended up having to choose a gray with a green undertone.
Oh.
That then complemented the Santa Cecilia granite, and it works fantastic. And I actually have the same color in my current house now.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, so here's what's crazy is she was really concerned. She also didn't like the backsplash, and she was like, I want to change backsplash too. And I was like, we're not doing all of it. We can't do all. We got to make some choices here. But what we didn't even realize was the backsplash has diamonds, intermittent around it, and it is the same. It's the granite. Oh, yeah. And I was like, this is a problem. But now that we did the colors that we did, she actually likes the backsplash.
See, I love
It's
that.
crazy.
That's the best. And
Yeah.
you were able to have your kitchen remodel with just paint.
Right.
I love that. Isn't
Yeah.
that fun?
Well, yeah.
And
it
your
is fun.
your wallet thinks it's
Yeah.
fun too.
Yeah, I mean, we did pay professional to
For sure.
do it because your kitchen cabinets are not a wall.
Absolutely.
They're way different.
Has to be sprayed.
But
and-
yeah, it was a whole thing, and Aaron did an amazing job. But that being said, I think that there's so much that paint can do for a home to change your lovability of a space.
Absolutely.
So-
Yeah, and it's just a coat of paint
Yeah, right. 2 minimum.
and a primer.
And a primer.
Don't forget and sanding.
Y'all just made it sound a lot harder than what you're talking about.
The details.
Yeah. So here's another question.
Yeah.
That being said, you don't do the work
No,
as
sir.
far as painting
No,
goes.
sir.
Do you like to paint?
Not particularly,
Okay.
but my husband, I make him paint.
Make. I
Yeah,
heard that.
he gets
Undertones.
he gets voluntold.
Those undertones.
But then when we say that we did the painting, I say we painted
We
it.
painted
the
it.
collective we.
Oh yeah.
I
You
I chose the color.
Sure.
I chose the color
Every time.
But no, look, I have painted. I actually painted in Chicago. I painted our bathroom cabinets.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want to pay somebody. They came out
Yeah.
really, really nice.
Yeah.
You know, I'll paint the small rooms, like the
Sure.
the powder room,
Yeah.
stuff like that. I just don't necessarily have the patience. I like to more
Just to let them know that you can, but that you won't.
correct.
See how it is.
Won't. Yeah,
Yeah.
he knows.
He knows. He's
Yeah.
aware.
I'm on your
aware.
side. You're
Yeah.
from our country.
From this side of the ocean.
That's right.
That's right.
That's right.
So is it like is it a marriage thing, or is it like a national thing? It's like, remember Normandy, or like we saved your butt, or it's not like an American French thing. No?
I mean, I like to bring that up.
Okay,
Yeah.
I like to bring that up.
I like to know that that's in the mix.
Yeah. Also, Cinco de Mayo.
Uh-huh.
We're about to learn something.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
So
like we here, or he is, like it's like you're telling us, like he's got it coming.
yeah. Well, yes.
Okay,
of it.
But
all
so
of it.
you know how
Okay.
everybody here in the States, well, in Texas,
Yeah. Texas and the States are synonymous. Let's be honest.
this great state of Texas, we love to celebrate Cinco de Mayo.
We do.
So, what do you guys think Cinco de Mayo is,
Well,
other than
it-
margaritas and fajitas?
right. Well, that's what I really thought it was. But I think that most people think it's the Mexican Independence Day.
It's not.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not. So Independence Day is the 16th of September.
What?
16 de septiembre.
What?
But this is the fun story. Cinco
Yeah.
de Mayo is when the Mexicans pushed the French
Oh, there we go.
out of Mexico.
Oh, even better.
I think it was in the city of Puebla. I could
Yeah.
be wrong. My dad might correct
In
me
Puebla?
later. I think it was in Puebla. So I love Cinco de Mayo.
Oh, yeah,
now,
you do.
Because that is when my people.
Shoved your husband's people
out
Out forever.
And finally,
And finally.
it's about time.
Yeah. It took too
They
long.
needed to get out of there.
Yes, they did. So they went to Canada.
Well, and good.
home.
Fine.
They went home.
Yeah, they went home.
That was something else.
Okay.
Those were the Acadians.
Okay. Trust me, if you watched the last episode that were, I guess it was 3 or 4 episodes ago now, you know that I do not know geography because we had a whole trivia about it.
Yeah.
Like, I will say this. Like, have you guys heard some of the crazy stories about France from like the Revolutionary War and then like the Civil War? Mm-hmm. Like some of the stuff that like those guys were like crazy, like making like sneaky diplomatic moves. The Revolutionary War, I mean, like I'm convinced never would have happened without France.
Right.
Like,
They were.
I mean, and then the Civil War, they were doing some sneaky stuff too. I mean, they were kind of playing both sides, like the North and the South.
I need to catch up on that.
So,
with the Civil War.
I'm unfamiliar with that.
Yeah, they were
Revolutionary War.
the
more
Revolutionary War, but I didn't know about the Civil War.
Yeah, they were involved for sure.
Really?
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, like
We hadn't pushed him out yet. Is that what?
part of it was they were hedging bets on both sides because the North was more industrial, but the South was cotton and tobacco and all that kind of stuff. And they're like, well, which one do we want? And they're like, well, we want both. And so they were kind of watching and then helping and then watching and helping and
Pretty smart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They helped like with some like I think it was. There's a lot of people that think that part of the reason that the South lost is because I think the French ended up. Somebody's going to fact check me. I'm sure.
Yeah.
If I remember right, I think they were helping blockade the Southern Navy.
Oh.
And helping them, and because like the Southern Navy ended up getting like destroyed.
Yeah.
And that was part of why they ended up losing the war was because they didn't have a naval presence. And a lot of, and they were, and I think again, like I'm just having like recall this on the fly. I don't know that this is completely accurate, but I think what happened is the French were helping sneak supplies into the South because the North had a blockade going, and they were like, well, we don't like that. We want to get some, like we trade with those people.
Right.
So it was a whole thing.
The most I really know about French,
and they had great colors on their flag.
Well, that's true. The most I know about the French people, I learned from Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
Okay.
So,
which is wholly accurate.
now come back before I taunt you a second time. That's what I remember.
I think that's yeah.
It's accurate.
It's accurate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've done all the Americanized version of the French people now. We've done Clouseau and Monty Python.
That's right. What else do you need?
The only ones that really count.
That's right. That's right. So I think we're supposed to be talking about paint.
Okay.
I don't know.
We can.
I don't know. What's the next question? Do you have a question?
I'm actually curious about the color because this is a problem that I have when I pick out color. Like if I go to like a big box store, like I look at the colors. Mm-hmm. I know that I like some of the colors, but I'm like, I know that these colors, like I can go over there, I can ask for this color and I can take it home, but it's probably going to look completely different when I get it home because the light is different.
Mm-hmm. Yep, for sure.
How do you overcome that? Like, how do you, I mean, like, is it really that you like,
it cost $150 per room.
Well, obviously, I mean, like
hour and a half consultation.
But I mean, like for people that don't have access to you, like they live in your old town, Chicago, or they're down in Florida, or wherever. Like,
I'm online also.
Well, okay, there we go.
You can do things online.
Absolutely.
I mean, how?
Absolutely.
Because again, the lighting.
Okay.
Like, how do you do that?
Well, first of all,
that's a great question.
Yeah,
I'm curious as well.
No. Well, here I'll give you the steps.
Okay.
If you can't have me over at your house.
Okay.
Or do the online consultation. So first of all, pick a color, right? If you have something in mind. So let's say you're going to go, what do you want to choose? White or green?
Okay.
Right?
Sure.
And then it would be very good to know what direction your room is facing. So let's say
talking about like north, south, east,
north,
west.
south, east, west. So let's say that your room faces north. That is going to get the coolest light in your entire house. So a color that, let's go with white.
Okay.
That you thought looked creamy in the store, you bring it home and you put it in a north-facing room, it's going to look a lot cooler. It's going to look more gray than it did in the store. So you can go in with that. And so let's just stick with the north light. So you can go in. And
so when you say north, like it probably has like a north-facing window.
Correct.
Okay.
Sorry, it's where the window,
Okay.
where the light is coming from.
Yeah.
Where the light's coming from. If you're
You're talking about
southern,
natural light.
natural light, correct.
Okay.
Southern that's the best light.
Oh.
Southern light. So if we ever build a home, I'm going to want like my kitchen and my living room to face south because that gets beautiful, warm light all throughout the day. That's just the best.
Like your oranges and your reds and your, is that what you're talking about?
So the light is warmer. Yeah. So like, do you see those light bulbs up there?
Yes.
They're warmer than the one over here that has more white
Right.
undertone, more blue
It's because it
undertone.
faces south.
That's why, because the light bulb is facing
Hang on.
south at night.
I need to orient myself.
It actually is not. That's north.
That is south.
That's south.
It's picking up the moonlight. Anyway, so yeah, and then like east, for instance, it gets warmer light
Okay.
in the morning, and west is going to get it in the evening.
Okay.
'Cause the sun rises in the east, sets in the west.
Yeah.
So you can go with that. So let's say we're going to stick with our northern room. We're going to say, okay, I need to start picking things that maybe are a little bit more warmer that they look in the store. And you're going to grab a lot. You're going to grab a lot of different whites.
Okay.
Because the best way to choose paint colors is by comparison. You can't just choose it by itself because if you're just looking at a color by itself, it's going to maybe just look white.
Right.
But when you put it next to another white, that's when you're going to see the magical, sneaky undertones that we were talking about.
There's
So
a lot of nuance between
there is
all of them.
Yeah, there is. There really is, and it's hard to see if you're just seeing it like right there by itself.
Yeah.
So you're going to have to compare, and so you're going to have to compare them in your room, and then you have to go with what you're liking. That's
Okay.
why I tell people all the time is first just go with what you love.
Yeah. Okay.
Go with what you love. And then after that, let's say you've narrowed it down to hopefully 2 or 3. If you've-
Just 2 or 3 different whites.
yeah, let's say
Okay.
you've narrowed it down. My favorite way of doing it when I'm doing in my own house is I do like to paint cardboard, like big poster board,
Oh, okay.
especially if I'm doing something like cabinets. Because it's an investment when you're painting
Yeah.
cabinets versus just painting a wall, right? So you put it on the poster board and then you stick those poster boards on your wall and then you see how they look at different times of the day because it's going to change depending on the hour of the day.
gotcha.
So if you're using the room mostly in the morning for work, well, then that's really what you're going to care about, how the paint looks at that time of day.
Yeah.
And then that's it.
So, but I mean, like I think a lot of people go, like if you go to like a Lowe's or a Home Depot, they're like, well, I'm going to buy like a gallon of paint. You can do that though. I mean, like you can get like a little sample of.
You can.
Right?
Yes, absolutely. You can get a sample, or now they have Sample-Eyes, which is amazing.
What's that?
It's a company. It's really great. I might have one here to show you. It's kind of like this. They have,
Oh, it's like a big block.
well, the big block is the designer block, but you can get something like this and then you can stick it on your wall.
Okay.
So this is like an 8x8. This one actually isn't from Sample-Eyes, but
Sherwin-Williams has some of those as well.
This
the
is
big ones.
Sherwin.
Yeah, there you go. Okay.
This is Sherwin-Williams.
Okay.
And this is awesome.
Yeah.
So you just get this and stick it on
Okay.
your wall.
But it's not every color though. They don't have every color like that, do they?
They don't. Sherwin-Williams doesn't have every color.
They just
in
have the most
sticky
popular, I
ones,
guess.
But Sample-Eyes probably will.
Okay.
And they have all the different paint companies. It's really, really
You
nice.
order it online?
Yeah, you can order online. It's very, very nice.
So I'm assuming then that's a website, Sample-Eyes.
It is.
Okay.
I'm gonna find it.
You're going to find,
Absolutely.
okay.
Yeah.
Well, because we need to link it in the show.
This is a good resource, sounds
Yes.
like.
It is a very good resource.
So
it's really nice.
And that actually leads me to another good, I mean, like when people look at colors online,
Yep.
like you're on somebody's Instagram, you're looking at it on like Pinterest, Etsy, whatever. Like I imagine those colors don't look the same
They don't.
on your screen when
They
you
don't.
get them home.
Well, and then plus, everybody who's posting on Instagram, Facebook, Etsy, whatever, they have filters. I mean, they are blowing out the light.
Yeah.
If you see it. So it's so hard. People will say, oh, I saw this color. This kitchen says that these cabinets are this color. And I look at it and I know the color and it's absolutely not that color at all.
Yeah.
It's way brighter. It's lighter. So no. Mm-mm.
So once again, we learn that the truth is not on the internet.
No.
It's not. They
I found that out
Photoshop
yesterday.
that.
I just had to go back to bed. I didn't know what else to do. I thought that everything on the internet was true till yesterday. So, okay, another question.
Yes.
Which paint company do you prefer?
So I love Sherwin-Williams.
Yeah.
I really, really like Sherwin-Williams. I think the quality of the product is fantastic. The people in the store have always been so helpful.
They're knowledgeable.
They're so knowledgeable. They're patient. They're kind. But really, also, the product is just...
superior.
It is.
So,
it's a really good paint.
Yeah, even their lower grade stuff is still really, really good. But here's what's amazing. And like, whenever we were there most recently, we just bought our house. So we've done some painting. And one of the things I like is the guy would say things like, I would say, well, I prefer, and this is just my own personal thing, I prefer an eggshell or a satin on a regular interior wall, but like on trim, I would prefer a semi-gloss, you know. And what's interesting though is like my brother, he wants semi-gloss on his walls and he wants high gloss on his trim. Okay. And so
it's easier to clean.
Sure, so that's one of the things that the guy at the store was telling me. He's like, well, what room is this going in? And I was like, well, this is going in my daughter's room. And he said, well, how old is she? Well, she's 9. And he said, okay, you should go with the semi-gloss because most things are going to come off. It's going to clean better. But this is what was really interesting to me. And this is stuff that I'd never heard before. He said, if you go with this paint grade, which is a higher quality, it's more expensive, then you can go with an eggshell and still get cleanability and still get that sheen that you want. And if you go with this lower grade paint, it's less expensive, but you need to go with a semi-gloss for the durability. You have to get that sheen in order for that to happen.
For sure.
And that was the first time I had ever heard that, and it like completely changed my understanding of paint quality and understanding the different sheens. And it's like, well, why would I go with this? I don't remember the capture or whatever it is versus the emerald, or the emerald versus the whatever, you know. And he was so knowledgeable and so helpful.
They are. Yeah, no, they're a wealth of knowledge. I love them. But yeah, so like everything in our homes is always Sherwin-Williams. And with my 3 kids, there's a lot to clean, scruffs, and I'll even do like a magic eraser. It's great.
Yeah.
And I have eggshell and satin finish on my walls, even just like a sponge, warm water. It comes right off.
So it's the really other thing that's nice about Sherwin-Williams is they keep your stuff on file.
Oh, they do. It's so nice.
And so if you ever like you can go to Home Depot, they're not keeping that on file. You know, bare paint, whatever. I mean,
better keep that lid.
Yeah, exactly. Take a picture.
Yes.
Just take a picture. But also take a picture before it fades, because that sticker fades. So I do love the fact that Sherwin-Williams keeps if you'll just give them your information, they'll keep it on file. Yeah, it's great.
No, they're fantastic. So I love Sherwin-Williams. That's, you know, primarily the colors that I work with. Mm-hmm. And I do also love Farah and Ball. Have you heard about that?
No, what's that?
Yeah. I said yes. The answer is no. I just
wanted to sound cool.
Yes. No. But I'm on Sampleize's website.
Yeah, they have Farah and Ball.
They have 4 they have 4 companies that they're displaying here. They have Benjamin Moore and PPG, which is whatever.
Pittsburgh.
Okay. And Sherwin-Williams, and then Farah and Ball.
Yeah, so Farah and Ball is absolutely fantastic. This is like the creme de la creme of paint colors. They're from England. They are very pricey, but they're very, very beautiful. And they're made with natural pigmentation, so they have minerals. So the colors just have a lot of depth to them that you're not going to get normally with other paints. And they have a very curated list of colors, which I think is fantastic. They don't have tens of thousands of colors. It's very
like
curated.
50 shades of all the greens and the reds and the whatever. It's like, here's the red, is that kind of how it is?
Yeah, they're amazing. I mean, I almost feel like you cannot go wrong with any of their colors. However, the downside, you are paying for it. I mean, you're paying for it, but the quality of the paint is also amazing. And a lot of times you can just get away with doing 1 coat.
Oh, wow.
So if you do the math, you know, depending on
how much am I paying? Twice as much? Am I paying 3 times as much?
I mean, it's going to be at least twice.
At least twice?
Yeah, at least twice.
Okay.
At least. But they are some fantastic colors. I would love to have some in my home.
Gallon of paint from this company. What am I looking at?
Well, I'm not sure because I haven't priced that out anytime soon.
Is it on the website there?
Yeah, it's going to be there.
Is it? I don't know. I mean, this is just their...
Well, click on something, man. Come on.
I did. The paint samples are all the same price.
Yeah,
so I don't...
The paint samples.
There's not like a link back to their page?
No, they didn't give a free backlink. What are you
If
talking
it's in
let's
about?
pounds,
say-
if it's in pounds, I want you to do the
No,
conversion.
it's not.
Yeah.
But I will say this, like, well, for example, Aaron, he doesn't use Sherwin-Williams on. Do you remember
I was thinking of that. What was the paint? Because he uses like a mineral paint.
It's a similar. It's from Italy, actually. It's another brand, and I just lost what it is. But that's what he used. But here's the thing: he used Sherwin-Williams colors, but he was able to get those colors in this other paint, and it's the paint is very durable. It's very it cures over a matter of, I think he said 6 weeks.
Wow!
And the longer and longer it gets very hard, which is great for cabinets. So I'm gonna remember it, but it may not be tonight until I go home and I look. But I'm interested in this fair. But where do you buy it?
You can buy it online.
Oh, you just buy it online.
And they just opened up a showroom in Dallas, Texas. So that's a road trip for me.
Yeah, just 3.5 hours. We can be there.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's just go now.
Oh, well,
I'm in. What part of Dallas?
Well, now we're asking a lot of questions. It's going to be in the fancy part of Dallas.
I'm a curious
Let's just
man,
say that.
Farah.
yeah,
How about
Dallas.
Highland Park?
Okay,
I just came up with that.
It's in the Galleria area,
In the
I'm
Galleria
sure.
area.
It might as well be true.
Yeah. But no, they did. They just opened up the showroom, and I am just dying to go.
Yeah. Renner. Isn't it Renner?
I don't know. I was trying to look up that episode.
Yeah, I think it's Renner. Yeah, Renner Paint. That's what it is.
Okay.
It's Renner. Renner. And he swears by it for cabinets. That's what he swears by. So, and we've been really happy with it. Like, it's...
Oh, so you have him in your kitchen. That's what he used.
He used Renner.
Was it oil-based?
Yeah.
Or water?
No, I don't think so. I think it's water-based.
Nice.
Which is really
I do think
great.
I remember him saying that.
Yeah, because I was like, really? Why would you not use an oil base on cabinets? And he was like, because you don't have to.
No, you don't have to now.
Yeah,
like the super paint from Sherwin-Williams, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
And you do have to let it cure.
Sure.
And so when they painted my cabinets in Chicago, they used water-based latex paint, and the guys that were painting the cabinets took them into the garage, and it was wintertime, so it's very cold in Chicago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a little bit different than here.
Yeah.
And they had, this is going to sound odd, but a big tin barrel, and flames were coming out of it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've seen
A flaming barrel of fire.
Yeah, I've seen those.
To help. And I walked in my garage. I didn't have a heads up that there was going to be a flaming barrel of fire in my garage.
Right.
But
It's just a Tuesday there.
yeah, it was just, and they were looking at me like, why is she freaking out?
Right.
This is fine. There's paint fumes
It's
and
just a combustible in
Yeah.
your house. No big deal.
paint fumes and fire.
Right.
But they said it was to cure it.
Yeah. That's interesting.
And they were amazing. Like the quality was great.
When were you in Chicago?
So we were there 4 years ago.
4 years
is how
ago?
long we've been here.
Did you ever eat at the Girl and the Goat?
Yes, we did.
Yeah?
Yes, we did. It was so
I need
tasty.
to tell you a crazy story about that restaurant when we're done.
Okay, absolutely. Yeah, that's a nice.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Actually, my husband's in Chicago right now.
Is it really?
Yeah, for
It's
work.
one of my favorite food towns.
Oh, it's fantastic
Yeah.
for food. It's
Well,
so much
because
fun.
pizza.
It is
I'm
amazing for the
so-
pizza.
Well, okay.
Yeah.
But for everything else, and you can have it delivered. We have it delivered, by the way.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So the whole reason we went there
Okay.
is because the best Mexican restaurant in the country is in Chicago.
Really?
Oh, yes. Rick Bayless.
Rick Bayless.
Nice.
Yeah, that was the whole
Absolutely.
reason we went, was to go eat at two of his restaurants.
That
Wow.
is a
I think
very
it was,
good reason to go to
Frontera,
Chicago.
and
Yeah.
he
I
had
don't
like
remember the other one.
He's got like a street taco place that he's got right next door to it that we went to
Yeah.
as well.
Was it worth it?
Absolutely,
Okay.
it's going to be
He is
worth it.
He's the king of mole.
Oh,
Yeah.
interesting.
Which mole? Puebla?
Okay.
That's where it originated from? Or what?
They have a lot of mole.
had
here.
a-
Okay. And agave.
I'm being filmed.
I would just tell you, every mole that you've ever had here is just like nothing. compared to like what that man can make.
Interesting.
Because most people don't even like most people just have like the brown mole and the green mole. And
Okay, do you know where you need to go in Houston if you haven't been yet?
Where?
Hugo's.
Okay. Oh yeah, I know Hugo's.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, you probably say Hugo's.
I can say Hugo's.
You can, yeah.
I can, but
Hugo's.
I say Papacitos, so I would really like to go to this place.
Oh,
I went to Lupe Tortilla today.
Delicious.
I
The
love,
best fajitas.
Oh, so good.
Those are the best.
So good.
Hands down.
Yeah, the
my
lime
my
fajitas.
conflict is I know how to say Hugo, but like I have
Hugo's.
Ugos.
but I have family from Hugo,
Oh,
Oklahoma.
slightly different.
Yeah. And,
Well, 'cause-
Well, you know what it gets me too is like when I say the word humble.
right.
Oh, yeah.
We're so
it's
close
humble.
to humble.
Humble,
And I
right.
have to double think every time I say
Yeah.
humble and humble.
So I grew up in La Mesa, Texas,
okay.
and everybody wants to correct me and say it's La Mesa, and I'm like, no, I grew up there. Like I know, and it's one word, not two, and it's La Mesa. I'm sorry, it just is, but it's La Mesa. It's La Mesa. Whatever. Names are funny.
Yeah.
And the way us Texans and Oklahomans
Yeah.
say things is just what it is.
Yeah, it is.
So, yeah.
Just like, New York, they say Houston.
Oh, yeah.
Do they really?
Yeah, Soho, south of Houston. That's kind
Oh,
of
is that
rude.
because is there like a
It's rude.
it's rude.
It's south of Houston Street.
Oh, my goodness.
That's not what that is.
No, at all.
It should be, so it should be what? So-Hugh.
So you?
So-Hugh. Let's just start calling it So-Hugh instead of
So-Hugh.
Soho.
That's good. There's
I'm going to do that when I go there just to irritate them.
yeah.
Do it. We're So-Hugh.
It will not take much to irritate them.
Not for me.
Because you've never been to New York, have you?
So
What?
I was telling somebody, so I've been, the one time I've been north of the Mason-Dixon line was to go to Chicago.
Wow.
Okay, well, you need to go to New York.
Yes.
Do I?
Agreed.
Absolutely. If you like food, so
Yeah.
we took the kids on spring break again, and we made the trip. It was strictly a foodie trip.
Yeah.
And so everybody got to pick their favorite restaurants. They like to watch Food Insider.
Oh,
On YouTube.
interesting.
So yummy. So all the kids made a list, and
Nice.
we ate so much.
Yeah, well, you should know. I mean, Craig's a major foodie. I have tried to become more of a foodie, and I feel like I've always tried to be that. Craig has really helped me with that.
Nice.
But yeah, he's definitely a foodie for sure.
Well, then you need to get
I
the
agree.
next plane ticket and go to New York with your family and just go eat.
By the way, that's going to be tomorrow. The next plane ticket
next
will be
plane-
tomorrow.
next plane ticket?
Yeah, just
Tomorrow.
let you know.
My wife is currently trying to talk me into a trip to DC.
Oh, that's
we love DC when we were there.
DC's
and,
awesome.
And again, there's
Very
there's a
awesome.
chef there that we like, Michael Voltaggio.
Okay.
I think he has a place there named Volt. And apparently, like the food scene in DC is really great.
Yeah.
Oh,
as
it's
well.
very nice. We enjoyed it so much when we lived
They
there.
have pizza there too.
But like it's kind of one of those things at this point. Like I sent my wife and daughter to New York, and it was like right before COVID. They had a great time, and it's one of those deals. I kind of want to be like, I haven't gone yet, and I kind of like saying that I haven't gone. And it's like,
That's like people that are like, I've never seen Star Wars.
exactly. That's exactly how I feel about it. It's like I've never gone, and I'm kind of cool with it. But
Yeah.
like I know I would enjoy it.
Oh, you would.
There's nothing like I don't want to go. It's like just haven't gone.
Yeah. You're not getting any younger, Craig.
Younger than me, apparently.
He will always be that.
Some snot-nosed kid.
Right, exactly. No, DC's actually, I really, really enjoy DC. And you can do DC in a couple of days, or you can do DC in a week. I mean, it just really kind of depends on how you want to do it.
Yeah. And if you do DC,
Yeah.
you got to branch out in Virginia, the Blue Ridge Mountains. Oh, so beautiful.
Baltimore,
Oh,
there's so much.
Annapolis,
Oh, I would love to go there.
beautiful.
Yeah, I would love to. I've not, but I would love to.
And the colors that they paint their homes in Annapolis are fantastic.
I see a lot.
Blues and greens.
I see a lot of those colors coming into Houston now, where people are actually doing.
Yeah, people are getting, they're getting more bold,
Yeah.
which is awesome. Which is so.
Yeah, I'm
so
kind of
great.
done with the the stucco.
Yeah,
Like the
I like
Hardy
stuff.
Plank.
I
I like
don't dislike stucco. I'm just kind of like I'm done with like the beigey color of the house, and that like
That's in spring. That's like spring Texas.
yeah,
That's all it is.
yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
I'm not opposed to it, but like it's like when every house.
But you just want color.
yeah, I want something
know.
different.
Well, I love
I say
color,
that, and my
but-
house is brown.
Well, but then you get people that are like, I'm just gonna paint this brick, and I'm like, slap you.
Yeah.
Although my
Oh, no,
last
it's
house
okay.
is,
You can do
I
that
know you can,
too.
but don't.
Didn't you?
No, you can't. Yes.
Desiree did that to her house, didn't she?
Desiree did it. It
She
looks
painted the
great.
brick. Yeah, it
I
looks
have
good.
seen. I've seen a lot of people do it, and if it's done the right way, like you shouldn't just paint a thick coat of paint on it. That's not going to work.
Right.
But there, there's different. You can like whitewash it, so or
It's
even,
hard to paint brick because the last house that we had was painted brick, and it just all peeled off. Like it wasn't painted well.
Yeah, it was
Well,
probably
did you
wasn't
stick to
primered
the
well.
Sherwin-Williams?
Well,
people
I
first
didn't-
of all? Did
It
you
was
prime
before I bought it. It was already
Okay.
this
Well,
way.
that's a different story.
And so I
also
have no
Arkansas.
idea. No, it was here.
Oh, it was here?
Yeah, it was April.
Oh, that
time.
one was painted. Yeah,
Yeah, it
that's
was
right.
painted, and it was fine until it started peeling off, and
Then it's not fine.
That's
not
when I
fine
sold it.
anymore.
No.
That's what actually it is. That's so true. Because we can paint this house or move out. It's like I'm moving
Now it's
out.
painted. No, but you can even paint. You can even paint rocks. So, for instance, like in our stone rocks.
My kid did that for a project one time.
Yeah.
As did mine. As did mine. But for instance, like the stone in our fireplace, and we have a couple columns in our homes. When we first moved in, my entire home was brown. Everything just brown when we bought the home. And then we collectively,
I heard. I heard that.
yeah, whitewashed the stones on the fireplace and then
Okay.
the columns, and it came out fantastic.
Yeah, I've
Really
actually
nice.
seen some of the whitewash stuff.
Because
and
you
it
can still
really
see
does,
the color
yeah.
of the stone come
That's-
through, or the different tones of the color.
That's
of the
the big
stones
deal
come
to
through.
me, is because there's something amazing and wonderful about brick, like
Yes.
the colors that are in brick, except the pink brick. Going back to pink, there's a lot of pink brick, and I'm like, oh, I love that color. No, you don't, because now your whole house is pink. But like fireplaces, I mean, there's something very warm and homey and inviting
There is.
to a brick fireplace, right?
For sure.
Then people will come in and they'll just paint it, a lot of them like black or like this heavy brown, or a white, just a stark white, and it's just like you just lost all that feeling that it gave you, and now you just made it another wall in your house.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I don't like that, but the whitewashing,
that's personal.
It is, and they, whatever. But you can't undo it. That's my other problem, is you can't undo it.
Once it's done, it's done.
Yeah.
You can't
It's
sandblast it or
like
something?
painting wood trim.
Yes, if you really
Inside your
want
house.
to. Inside your house, it's like, hey, honey, I don't want to do this anymore.
I'm not saying you'd want to. I'm just like, if you really had to, couldn't you?
I mean,
I guess.
or like with a little toothbrush. To not make such a big
It's like
mess.
that one little fleck that's just right there.
Yeah.
It's going to bother me.
That one child you hate.
Come here.
We
got,
all-
got a little job for you.
It's one of those deals.
You can
it's
clean
like,
the brick, or you can get out of the house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because here's the deal. At the end of the day, you have a child that you hate and a child that you love. So there you go.
Is that how it goes?
Not in my house, but everybody else. You ask, it's like, which one do you like more? They're
I
like,
feel like this is a problem for someone that only has 2 children.
I got
It's right.
three.
It's
I
right.
got
but
three.
y'all are thinking of which one it is. Hey, y'all know.
I love them all equally.
Sure you do.
I'm being filmed.
I feel that way about other people's children.
Right. I just hate all of them, to be quite honest. Until they become teenagers, I'm fine with that.
Okay.
So,
All right, so I have
Yes.
what I think is a controversial area in design right now.
Okay.
Wallpaper.
Oh, I love wallpaper.
You love wallpaper.
I do.
Okay, because I understand like it's kind of making a comeback.
It is. It
Mel-
is because
Mel loves it.
people are getting bolder with their choices.
Right.
And I think that is because of social media. And so people are now, like, we have access to all these amazing designers and architects from all over the world. And I don't know, I feel like in a lot of countries, people have been a lot more bold for quite some time now. So like England, for instance, they do a lot of wallpaper. They do a lot of bold colors
did they
in
ever
their
stop?
kitchens.
I mean,
I don't think they ever stopped,
I was
to be quite
like,
frank.
when I was there, it was like, I still allow wallpaper around here.
Yeah, no, so I think wallpaper is great. And I think also what I like to do with it is maybe not necessarily, I personally am not going to do the entire room, ceiling to floor in wallpaper, but maybe do some wainscoting, some paneling halfway up, and then the top half or the top 2/3 do wallpaper.
Especially on an accent wall.
Or an accent wall.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so much fun.
Yeah, and I've even seen a lot of people doing like textured, like heavily textured wallpaper.
Yes.
Are you seeing a lot of that?
Nice.
Okay.
Absolutely. No, they're very nice. And then you can also they have like the peel and stick wallpaper, which I think would be great like for kids' rooms.
Yeah. Speaking of paint, and wallpaper. So I, first house I owned, I decided that I would paint over what it was. And I realized as I started painting, and I was like, this is not normal. And I realized
it was over wallpaper.
Yeah, I realized, someone had painted over wallpaper. So I was like, well, I got to fix this. So I started taking the wallpaper off. And then I realized there's more wallpaper underneath it. And I did that 4 times. There were 4 layers of wallpaper, and it was painted on top of it.
You're like
and
3 inches of room.
That's what I was going to say. I gained 3 inches in my room. So it was like
you did.
It was crazy. It was awful. It was really, really awful. All the coats of wallpaper were not done well, and it was just
a lot of work.
It's a lot of work, and I guess that's what they thought too. Just cover it up.
Just cover it up.
Yeah. How much weight was taken off your wall? I mean, good grief.
I don't know. It's crazy. I really don't know why they did it. Well, I do know why they covered up each layer, because it was ugly.
They made 4 terrible choices.
They did. Every choice was worse than the one before it, and then finally paint fixed it. But here's the crazy thing: when I got down to it, it was paneling underneath.
Oh,
so
nice.
Which I actually loved.
Yeah.
I actually really
liked.
And we did wind up painting the paneling. It was really, really nice. So.
What color did you choose?
It was actually it was blue, like a turquoise.
Nice.
Yeah, and then we did the ceiling was green. It was a turquoise on the wall, and the ceiling was green.
You were bold, and
we
you
were
loved it.
We were, but we did have a designer talk to us about the colors, and whenever he's like, "You're gonna think I'm crazy, but I think you should do this," and we did, and we absolutely loved it.
That's
absolutely loved it. So. Yeah.
Okay, so before we let you go, we gotta get your input on this room.
Okay.
You gotta be super honest.
Okay.
Because
wow, here we go.
Yeah, like gird your loins, Kevin.
Gird your loins. Yeah.
Because it's pretty much all random.
Yeah. Well, it's what we had.
Yeah, but it looks loved. It looks loved. Like, look, I love this wood back here.
Yeah. So I mean, like, if I had to say anything that I liked about this room, it would be that wall.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we really.
So, like, what would you do color wise in here?
I mean, it depends on what you want. Are you wanting something bold? Are you wanting it neutral? What colors are making you happy right now?
Bold makes me happy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't really have like a preference on color. I tend to like darker colors.
Oh, that's what I was going to say.
But we also
like dark and moody.
Well, the other thing
is
we produce in here too. So like, I think it also needs to be something that like makes sense with the production side of things. So
sure.
I would say that's important, right?
Yeah, because I mean, we have to have like extra lighting in here for video and things like that.
Oh, so maybe dark and moody is not good,
right?
For lighting purposes.
Yeah.
So I mean, like we did like one dark wall that no one ever sees.
Maybe you could do that one, so then you get the benefit of it. He doesn't, but
anything that'll cover him up.
It's really Just whitewash me. That would be good. Take me out. I have a good personality. It's fine.
No, that's what we'll do. You know what? We're gonna match the undertones of his beard.
Oh gosh.
And then we'll pick the wall color.
Okay.
With that,
we'll have red undertones and
we'll have some red orange undertones.
Oh man.
Yeah, that's good.
on my southern facing.
Yes, my southern facing wall.
I know. No, but I love this. I don't want you to cover up the wood.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's like the one thing I really like.
Yeah, and this over here, which most people can't see on camera, but there was a door there,
No, there was never a door. There was going to be
a door there. And eventually we found that. So
we left it cut out for a door frame, and then we
decided
circumstances changed. We didn't need the door anymore, and I had the tongue and groove, and I was like, well, I don't have any more of this, and it would just look goofy to like have like a straight line of it. So I was like, I'll just do whatever.
We put some more over here too.
I did. It adds character. But if you wanted to, you could just paint it one color and then unify it.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't mind painting that at all.
I don't know. Yeah, but I don't know. I could see like a nice blue-green wall over here on this side.
Oh, yeah?
Maybe like sea serpent. I love that color from
What does that look like?
Sherwin-Williams. Oh, it's beautiful. I wish I had it with me. It's
Is it more blue or more green?
Blue. It's going to be more blue.
Okay.
It's going to be like a dark blue with a lot of green undertones on it, and then it can shift depending on the time of day. It's really nice.
I've seen cars.
You know what?
like
I have
that.
it in my car.
Do
I'll
you?
show you after.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll show you sea serpent after.
Perfect.
Okay.
But I know. So bold choices. And sometimes the thing is, you think you're making a bold choice, but when you have it on the wall, it's not anything that's like, oh, that's too flashy or it's too much. It's nice. Like, I remember when we built our home in Houston before we moved to Chicago, and the home was white. This is my favorite all-time white, was alabaster. It's still my favorite. It's my go-to. I absolutely love it. It's a warm white. It's fantastic. But I told the builder I wanted the doors to be black.
Okay.
And, you know, I put the order through, and I remember he called me, the contractor called me and was like, I think there's been a mistake because it's showing that the doors, the interior doors, are going to be painted black. They obviously got it wrong. I was like, nope, I want them black. And it looked fantastic. I loved it so much, I even did it in my Chicago home. And the funny thing is you would think that the second that somebody walks inside your home, white walls, you're thinking like stark black doors.
Right, yeah.
Just in your face.
They fade away.
They fade away.
Yeah.
And it almost looks just architectural.
Interesting.
It gives it another architectural dimension to the
it-
room. And nobody noticed them until I pointed out, because just everything cohesively looks, it just upped it up a notch.
White homes with black trim is huge right now, all over the place. And I've not seen it interior like you're talking about, but like
It's very elegant.
it's very And you look at it, and honestly, it just looks kind of royal almost.
Yeah,
It does.
It elevates it. And then I loved seeing people's faces when I said, did you notice that the doors are black? I'm like, oh, no. Like, how did I miss that every single door inside this house is
But
black?
the trim isn't black, it's just the door.
It was just the door.
Okay.
The trim was white. And like I said, I loved it so much. I did it in 2 homes. Absolutely, I would do it again.
Now,
I loved it.
Did that only work because of the kind of white that you used? Because I would imagine that wouldn't work with like an off-white. Like, you know, like a...
I mean, no, I think it can work.
Okay.
I think it can work with an off-white because black is a neutral. Black is a neutral color. You know,
So,
white
I mean,
is a neutral.
was yours kind of like a stark white? I don't know.
No, so alabaster is a warm white, but it's not too warm. It's not as warm as Dover white.
It's not creamy almost.
No, it's not creamy, but it has warmth to it.
Okay.
It's so nice. If you saw it by itself, you're going to think it looks white. But then when I compare it to something like
Sure.
high reflective light, then you'll be able to see it.
Okay.
And it's my favorite, truly.
Awesome.
So if you don't know what to paint your walls, you can't go wrong with alabaster.
There you go.
Interesting.
There's my free tip.
Well, I love it. No, I,
With black doors.
but I think that I mentioned it earlier. I don't know if you wanted me to or not, but I mentioned there was $150 for a room is what you charge. Maybe I shouldn't apologize.
No.
But I'm thinking here, like for example, that's 2 gallons of paint,
Yep.
and a lot of times you're going to need 2 gallons of paint to cover a room, maybe more.
Yep.
And if it's wrong,
I know.
you're going to have to go back and buy the paint again. And then you've got all the supplies. And you mentioned earlier the time, which is huge. So to me, you're making a really smart choice to find someone like you or you to walk in and say, for $150, I can give you.
Yes. And for me, it's not just the paint color, but it's like transforming your room.
Yeah.
It's also the design aspect for it.
So you do that too?
I do.
For that price?
I do.
Oh,
yeah.
awesome.
So like it's an 1.5-hour consultation, and after we pick your paint colors, and maybe you don't even want to pick paint colors and you just want, somebody to come
So
in.
do you have like a
that's me.
Calendly? Where can I go ahead and schedule time?
While he's in New York, we'll
yeah,
do your house.
exactly.
We'll do your
Go
house.
to New
room
York
by
with
room.
him. What are you talking about?
We'll do his house.
There you
and then
go.
he comes back from New York
Yeah.
and it's done.
Some walls we can't touch, but
Yeah.
the rest of them.
Some
in
we
I feel
his
like we
house,
need
at
to do it
least.
before I go to New York. I'm going to come back with some crazy hippie ideas.
Yeah, you will.
So
That's true.
we don't need to encourage that.
No.
But yes, so it's the whole package.
Perfect.
It's the design tips and everything along with it.
Well, that's really good. I mean, we made some real new choices whenever we moved in this house. We have a really large room, and we completely got rid of our living room furniture and bought a Lovesac sectional. But we went with a it's almost white, but it's a gray,
Yep.
but it's almost white. If you think gray, it's not that color. But like it's all, I was almost like, why would we do this? Because we have children and dogs. So why would we do it? But it's washable.
That's
really,
nice.
really nice. But we have some challenge in that room because we bought a white couch and we have very, it's like a dark, it's got a little bit of cherry tones in the floor. And so all of those things do make a difference.
They do.
in what you wind up doing. And so
Because the undertones in the wood.
well, yeah, exactly.
They're
No, it is.
everywhere.
They're
They're
We're gonna be
everywhere.
peppering that into conversation all this week.
Yes.
Do it. But see, for that, then you can just put a rug.
Well, so that we're actually going to we need a rug. Like the whole house is hardwood floor except for 3 bedrooms that are small, and so I just want sometimes to not walk on hardwood or tile. And so we're going to put some rugs. We've
Yes.
looked and looked and looked, and we just haven't found it. We actually want some blues in there.
Yes.
And so we've been trying to figure some things out. It's hard finding the right rug though, because
It is.
we've been multiple places. I'm sure there are like rug stores here in Houston that are not just like a furniture store that happens to have a bunch of rugs, but we haven't sought them out yet. So,
I actually even found a lot of our rugs like on Wayfair.
yeah,
Just read a bunch of reviews and
yeah.
There's
Oh,
one
Home
on-
Goods. Home Goods has
I was
a
gonna
lot
say
of
that-
rugs
I think
too.
there's-
I love
Isn't
them.
there's one on like 242 and 45 on the what is it? It's like this the northwest corner.
That's Walmart.
Yeah, but there's another
That's huge. That's a big home store.
Yeah, yeah,
Is
yeah.
that-
The at-home
what's it called?
store.
At home. Yes.
at home.
Yeah, we've been there, and we didn't find it. We actually looked also at that new American furniture place. We didn't find anything there. And then we even went to Gallery Furniture. They have a ton there. We didn't find what we wanted there either. So we're picky
Yeah.
because
That's
we want,
okay. Take your time.
yeah, and I'm like, look, we don't have to have it today. And at the end of the day,
Don't.
we can come back to something if we need to.
No, I
but-
always tell people it's better just to take your time. Like a home, I don't think a home you should never say your home is done. Your home
Yeah.
is finished, because it's not. And the people that, come in and build homes and immediately have everything furnished like out of a magazine, it almost looks cold to me.
yeah.
And
You almost have to live there for a little while to
You have
kind
to-
of
you
figure
do.
out what you want.
no, you absolutely have
Yeah.
to do. I mean, every time we move, like before making decisions like that, like you said, you have to just live in it.
I don't plan to do that again.
Move.
Move.
I'm kind of an expert at it
Yeah.
by now, but
I just don't want to.
yeah.
So
It's a process.
Do you feel like this is the last one though?
I don't know if it's the last, but I do think that we're going to be here for a while, which is
Yeah.
really, which is
nice.
which is nice to think, because
Yeah.
it's always been like, the next move. So being
Yeah.
able to think a few years ahead and just having the
Nice.
stability feels really nice.
Well,
So-
I've learned a lot, and I think this has been really good.
Wait, before we go, can I tell you one more thing?
Sure.
Absolutely.
We're not done yet.
Oh,
We have
good.
to quiz you. Anyway, go ahead.
Before the quiz,
Oh, yes.
I wanted to talk about beiges,
Oh,
Beige.
because you even brought
Beiges.
up beige.
I did, yeah.
Yeah.
So when we first say beige, we automatically just think like the Tuscans,
Right,
like
right,
what
right.
we're trying to get our homes out of.
Right, right.
Yeah.
So I brought you guys some color samples
Oh.
Okay.
that our Facebook and YouTubers can see.
Okay.
But when I tell people that beiges are coming back, they kind of freak out.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
like, no, I just took beige away.
Right, I don't want it.
I want
just
my
took it away.
gray.
Yeah, I want my gray. So one of the top selling colors in the 90s is whole wheat.
Oh,
This is it.
Okay.
Okay.
right? So like, okay, beige. Right now,
For me, that looks. I mean, like when you hold it up, like when
by
you
itself,
it looks kind of like greenish to me.
because it has a lot of undertones.
Ah.
It has a lot of
and in this
gold.
light,
It has a
with
lot
this
of
south-
gold.
with this south
and it
facing-
has some green undertones
Does
in
it?
it,
Okay.
right? So now a color that is timeless. It doesn't matter, you know, you can have this 100 years from now and it's still going to be fantastic, is a very neutral, like accessible beige.
That would look good in my living room with my, but it's
See,
very
when we
different.
compare them, they're super, super
Yeah.
different. This is how you can see
Wow.
the difference
Those
in
are
the colors.
like not even close.
So the beiges that are coming in now are more, you know, closer to nature, muted, neutrals. And
Is it? I
they
mean, like
go.
I'm reading it. Is it literally called accessible beige?
It's called accessible beige, and it is a fantastic color that you cannot go wrong with.
I really think it would look great in my living room.
I mean, it looks great in most people's homes. I mean, I really can't think of a room that it wouldn't look.
And it's
Wonderful
one that
in.
Sherwin-Williams also loves because they made it in the large size.
They did. They even made it in this size
Oh,
for
wow.
designers. We got
Wow.
we got the large size. So that's what I wanted to tell you, because people, I tell them that beiges are coming back, they freak out, and I'm like, no, these are different. They don't have the orange, gold undertones, and like accessible beige. For instance, I see that in France a lot. So, and
Cool.
they've been around for a while.
Yeah, and like now that it's down on the table, now I mean, like the first one actually looks more golden.
It does.
And
It
the
does.
second one actually looks more green to me now.
Yeah.
Up against the other one.
Yeah. So it's just comparison.
Yeah. That's cool.
Crazy.
So there you go.
Well, it is no really. I don't say that in jest. Like I've learned a lot, and I think this is one of those things where people will do one of two things. They'll either just go, let's go get that paint and get it painted, or they'll just stall.
Yes.
And
There's
they'll-
so much stalling.
Yeah, it's just a lot of analysis paralysis, right? And they
There is.
never move, and then. But I think that having someone like you walk in, who honestly, and this is one of the big things to me, is you're a neutral party.
Yes.
Like you walk in and you have no opinion other than
You're not repping a company that's
Right.
for paint.
Right.
you're
What
not
I
repping
think-
a company, but you also don't have the agenda of whatever the husband or the wife or whoever's living there is trying to feel. You can walk in and be completely without feeling and go, this is what will look good in this place.
Correct.
And that sometimes you just need someone to walk in and go, look, I have the investment that I have in this is
Yes.
simply to help you.
Yes.
And that I think is really, really helpful.
Well, and just because I've studied colors for so long now, and I have a book actually of all my favorite Sherwin. It's like the Bible of all my favorite Sherwin-Williams colors that I can tell you how they're going to look on a wall.
Okay.
And you're not going to be surprised.
Yeah.
So that's super helpful.
I love that.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, honestly, painting is something that, I mean, anybody can do.
Yep.
But go watch a couple of YouTube videos. There's a lot of little techniques you can probably learn.
Absolutely.
But honestly, like our buddy Aaron, he paints a typical like bedroom for like $350. So like, it's really not that bad. If you just don't want to paint,
Yeah.
So I mean, it's not bad at all.
Yeah.
So
Just got to wait to get on his schedule.
yeah, he
He's
is busy.
booked out.
He is booked out, which that's because he's really good.
He is really good.
So, well, listen, we cannot let you go without doing the most important segment of the entire show.
Okay.
Because everybody that's listening has only been listening now.
Just for this part.
Just for this part.
Just for this.
And it is the Final Four.
Final
That's
Four.
right. And where's our
Okay.
music? We don't have any music or
No, we
anything?
can
That's what I'm looking for.
Nice.
That's
I like
right.
that.
That's right.
all those people sitting out in the audience.
Yeah, all of them. Yeah, exactly. So,
I'm getting a little nervous.
well, you should be, because this is really, really
This is important.
If you get this wrong, people will chastise you, and at least we will.
Okay.
So
They will go
Okay.
to the Twitters.
that's exactly
Oh,
right.
no, the Twitters.
Nobody's there. All right. So here we go. We're just going to start asking some questions, and
Okay.
you're going to be ready.
I'm ready.
Okay, here we go. What's the must-have tool you won't leave your house without?
I love my measuring tape. I can't leave home without my measuring tape.
Okay.
Because every time I forget it, that's the one time I find a sofa or a rug
Yeah.
at a store.
Uh-huh.
and I don't know if it's going to fit.
Yeah.
So there's that for the design aspect, but then I'm going to say I need my Bible with all my color Bible
Yeah.
with my favorite colors.
Yeah.
So for paint projects only.
Yeah.
I love it.
Is it a pretty hefty book to carry around?
It is. It's a pretty hefty binder.
Yeah.
I should have brought it to the studio, but I'll show it to you afterwards.
Okay.
So those are the two things.
Okay. All right. Perfect. All right.
Yep.
We're on to question number 2. That was
Okay.
easy.
That was easy.
Yeah.
Quick and
Done.
easy and painless.
And it wasn't
Done.
phone.
It wasn't fun. That's everybody's answer.
Yeah.
And I get it. It's a good one.
Yeah.
All right. Next question is, what's a job you walked away from?
Okay. So we had a lot of oak trim in our Chicago house.
Mm-hmm.
Everything was oak trim. And so the collective we, my husband and I, decided to paint it. And, we just thought we could take room by room. And so he started, and he was doing room by room.
Okay.
But the mood, the quality of life,
Yeah.
the quality of life
For
just
who?
went for the kids and myself and my husband, I guess, the one who was doing the work.
Sure.
Was just oof. That was, painting trim in a substantial size house is a lot of work.
It is.
So I finally said, stop. Stop. Just put the paintbrush down. Put it down. And then we hired out for the second floor of the house.
And you're really happy.
I was so
with life.
happy. It was just the best decision.
Yeah.
We could stay married.
Yeah, I was about to say we're still married.
It's fantastic.
Yes.
So we actually need to go update this because anyway, our website's broken on our calculator. We have a DIY calculator on our
Okay.
website.
Yeah.
Is it not
It's
working?
broken. The plugin needs updated. It's no big deal. But that being said, so we go in and we say, okay, how much is this going to cost?
Yeah.
So whatever project you're doing, but one of the things that makes our DIY calculator unique is that we actually have created an algorithm
For happiness.
for happiness.
Yeah.
Yes, that's such
So,
a big deal.
It really is.
I'm gonna tell you, painting trim, that's a whole other ball game.
Yeah.
You can do it. You can do it. And Alex did a really great job, but it's just very time consuming
Mm-hmm.
and detailed. And the crown molding that we had like just a lot of designs in it. Like the corners would
yeah.
have circles and whatnot. So absolutely.
and you need a
to take-
couple of coats and
and
it's
the
just awful.
primer.
Yeah.
I mean, it was
It's just so much.
so we stopped. I stopped that.
Yeah. Yeah. So there really is. There's a line item in that calculator for how much do you want to do this job?
How much
It's
you enjoy
true.
doing this? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
It's true.
And so it's
'Cause it
important.
matters.
It really, really does.
It does.
So,
I know.
all right, you ready for question number 3?
Yes.
All right. How do you wind down at the end of a long day?
Okay. I like my cozy pajamas. It's one of my favorite things in life.
Yeah.
Cozy pajama pants,
Uh-huh.
cozy big sweatshirt, even my cozy slippers.
Yes.
That just brings me
Oh,
so
okay.
Y'all,
much
she lives in
joy.
Houston.
But my
It's
house,
hot.
still feels like Chicago in the winter.
Sure.
That's my favorite.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I put the temperature down on my Nest. I have Nest downstairs. I have the Alexa Amazon thermostat upstairs.
okay.
Also inexpensive.
Oh,
I hear
it's
it's
a
great, though.
fraction of the Nest.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a fraction of the Nest. And yeah, I love that.
Cool.
So that's my favorite.
Okay. Awesome.
Cozy.
Cozy.
That's like that's my vibe for everything. Warm and cozy.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right. Last question. We're in the home stretch.
Okay.
What's one of the best pieces of wisdom or advice that you've ever received?
So, my first 2 children are 16 months apart. And when they were young, and then I had we had our third child, I was busy. I was very, very busy. I was very, very tired, but very, very happy also. And I remember one time going to the grocery store and they were all crying. I mean, everybody was crying at the same time, and I was about to cry.
Yeah.
And this older man came up to me and he said, "You have your hands full right now." And I said, I do. They're very full. And he's like, but it's better than having them empty. And so even, you know, if you're struggling and going through a hard time, you know, with the kids, when we've all gone through it, right?
Yeah.
And it really stuck with me. And so whenever we're having difficult trials and, you know, now they're older and teenagers, which come a whole bunch of teenage problems. I remember that. Like, it's okay.
Yeah.
I like this. I like having my hands very, very full right now. Because one day, you know, I won't as much. Or then maybe they'll be replaced with grandbabies at that point.
Right.
Yeah.
You know,
if you're lucky. Yeah, it's funny because I think one of the best pieces of wisdom or advice that I ever received whenever my kids were really little is don't wish away any of the stages.
Don't.
Because we get there, like it's like, man, if they would just get through the crying phase, if they would just get through this phase, that phase or whatever, and you look back at some point and you go,
I miss that.
I will never have it again.
I know, just
You
like
know?
even when they were crying, but they were cuddling on your shoulder and you had those times with them. So that's it. It's not related to painting. That's related to parenting, but
No, it's perfect.
it really stuck with me, and I have repeated that. It's better than having them empty.
That's great.
Yeah, because there comes a time when they're just not going. I mean, even though they're in your house, they're going to not be like that anymore.
Right.
You know.
Right.
And
Every stage is unique.
even though it was horrific and horrible at the time, there's a weird part of you that's like, I miss that.
Oh
And-
yeah,
and
what I would give,
you
to have them
won't
little like
forget that moment.
No.
You haven't forgot that moment.
Absolutely not.
You know, so
Stuck with me. So
Yeah.
that's
Cool.
it. That's
well,
fine.
I have to confess
Okay.
that there is one secret last question, but Craig, it's the only question he remembers. So I let him
In case you didn't
ask
notice,
this
I didn't
one.
ask any of the other questions.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, because he doesn't remember
was
that.
quiet. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
He was trying to remember his one question.
I have the most important one.
That's right.
If people want to get in touch with you,
Oh.
how do they do that?
Okay.
How do they hire you?
Well, they can go to FarahFornierDesign.com.
There we go.
Yep. Hopefully you have that on your website.
We'll put it up.
We're going to link it in the show notes.
Awesome. And then you can shoot me an email, and immediately I'm going to respond, and we'll set something up.
Do they
More
email
than
you through the
happy.
website?
They do.
Okay.
Yes, FarahFornierDesign@gmail.com
Okay.
Okay.
also. So, yeah.
Awesome.
That's how. And
Great.
it's online or in person in the Houston Spring Woodlands
Okay.
There we go.
area.
Cool. Well,
We will send it out.
yeah, we will. Thank you so much for coming. It's been
welcome.
really, really good. I appreciate.
This
it. Oh, I'm glad. We've had fun as well.
Good.
At least I have. So
That's all that really matters.
that's all I care about.
All about
To be
Kevin.
quite honest, that's all I care about. So, well, and to everyone listening and watching, thank you so much for downloading today's episode. And if you have not already, please go like and subscribe to the show. And if you could go on iTunes or Apple, it's Apple Podcast.
Apple Podcasts.
Yeah.
Do that and just leave us a rating and review. That would really, really help us. But yeah, we're here each and every Tuesday. Until next time, we'll see you later.
See ya.